Good morning children, I welcome you to today's video class. Hi children, good morning. I would like to welcome you all to today's video class. In today's video class, I am going to explain the poem Meadow Surprises. I will give you explanation line by line and stanza by stanza of the poem. Okay children, to begin with, this poem Meadow Surprises actually was written by Lois Brandy Phillips. Who was she? She is the poetess is a wealthy ranch owner who has taken up writing and painting wildlife as her profession. And she wrote this poem to give a vivid picture of the surprises Meadow has within it. Yeah, I would like to take you all to Meadows, and there you can have a lot of surprises and you can visualize all such things. Okay children, to begin with, what is the meadow? Yeah, it is an open habitat or field vegetated by grass, herbs and other plants. So meadow is an open habitat, or you can better call it as a field where you can find grass, herbs and some other plants. Okay, fine. And meadows attract a multitude of wildlife and support flora and fauna. So every meadows that are full of vegetation, the richness of beauty, bounties of flora and fauna, a keen observer and soulful listener can enjoy the lustrous greenery around whenever he is close to the nature. Meadows offer vastness and bountiful surprises to onlookers. Next children, you have to raise many questions. Meadows attract, as I told you, multitude of wildlife, and it is support flora and fauna that could not thrive in other habitats. That's very important. Every one of you likes to visit meadows. Children used to like to walk and play on the soft green grass of the meadow. They like to watch birds in the meadows. They like to catch insects flying here and there on the leaves of the meadows. They like to play with animals found in the meadows. Okay, by the way, what meadows have? Yeah, meadows have surprises for us. If you go, you can have such surprises. You can see such things. You can hear such surprise voices. Okay, fine. For whom they have surprises? For everyone they have surprises. And when you can have these surprises, children, when you can have these surprises, if you have a keen eye and a sharp ear to observe things happening in the meadows, then only you can have the surprises. Okay, let me explain the first stanza of this poem. In the first introductory lines of the first stanza, the poet says, let me read out the first stanza of the poems. Meadows have surprises. You can find them if you look. Walk softly through the velvet grass, and listen by the brook. Let me write the lines of the poem on the board, then I will explain each and every word of each and every line of the stanza. Okay children, yeah, listen to me very carefully. Pay your good attention for these things. Yeah. Now I write the first stanza of this poem. Meadows have surprises. First stanza. Meadows have surprises. Meadows have surprises. You can find them if you look. You can find them if you look. Second line. Third line, walk softly. Walk softly through the velvet grass. Walk softly through the velvet grass. Walk softly through velvet grass and listen by the brook. And listen by the brook. Okay, fine. This is the first stanza of this poem. In the first stanza, what does the poet wants to say? Everyone likes to walk on the soft green grass of the meadows. See, meadows have surprises. Of course, they have many surprises. If you visit meadows, you can have such surprises. Provided with if you have a keen eye and sharp ear, you can have all such surprises. Here, so meadows have surprises for all of us. You can find them. You can go. You can visit meadows. You can have all such things. You can find them. You can visualize them. You can have them. You can hear them. If you look at the meadows carefully, with sharp eyes. Okay, fine. And if you walk like this, if you walk softly on the green grass, these green grass are as soft as velvet. That's the thing. In the third line, the poet says, walk softly through the velvet grass. Velvet grass here stands for the grass are so soft, very soft. If you just walk gently on the grass, you can feel the softness of the grass. The grass are as soft as velvet. And then if you pay good attention to the sound produced by the brook. Brooks refers to a small river, a small stream. Or see, good water is running, flows all over the river. So when the water flows in the river, it produces beautiful sound. The sound you can hear. It is very pleasant to hear the sound produced by the brook in the meadows. So what does the poet want to say in the first stanza? Every meadows, or in general, meadows have many surprises. They have such surprises for everyone in the world. And if you go, you can have such surprises. If you go there, if you visit meadows, you can have all such surprises. You can see them, you can hear them, you can enjoy them. If you have sharp eyes and sharp listening, and if you walk very gently on the soft green grasses, these green grasses are as soft as velvet. Therefore, the poet says in the third line of the first stanza, walk softly through the velvet grass. If you touch the velvet cloth, you can see the softness of it. The texture is very soft. In the same manner, the green grasses are as soft as velvet. So if you walk on the green grasses, you can feel the softness. And in the fourth line of the first stanza, the poet says, if you pay good attention, if you listen to the sound produced by the brook, a small river or the stream, the running water of the river produces such a pleasant sound to hear. So this is the total meaning of the first stanza. So the meaning for the hard word, children, let me explain the meaning for the hard word. See, surprises, something to expresses, something to surprises, okay. So excited. And then if you look, walk softly, very gently. Velvet grass, it is so soft as velvet. It is the green grasses are as soft as velvet. And then brook refers to a small river. So this is the total meaning of the first stanza. Could you follow me, children? Very good. Next, let me write the second stanza, the lines of the second stanza on the board, and I will explain. Okay, second stanza. Let me write the second stanza on the board. You may see butterfly. Second stanza. You may see butterfly. You may see butterfly rest upon a buttercup. Rest upon a buttercup. Rest upon a buttercup and unfold its drinking straws. Its drinking straws. Its drinking straws. The last line of the second stanza, to sip the nectar up. To sip the nectar up. Okay, children. Now let me read out the lines of the second stanza. You may see butterfly if you walk through the meadows, rest upon a buttercup and unfold its drinking to sip the nectar up. Now let me explain the meaning of the second stanza. If you walk through the meadows, you can find it is possible to come across a butterfly. You can see butterfly. If you walk through the grass, if you walk through the meadows, you can come across butterfly. Children, you like to watch butterfly, how they are flying, how they are gently sitting on the petals, soft petals of the flowers, how they are sucking honey, nectar from the flowers. All these things are eye-catching, worth seeing. You like to watch butterflies in the meadows. Sometimes you may try to catch butterflies also. So you can have such surprises if you visit meadows. So in the meadows, it is possible to come across a butterfly. Where does this butterfly sit? It rests. The butterfly rests comfortably where? Upon a buttercup. Buttercup is a kind of a wild flower. It's a wild flower and a wild plant. It is a wild plant. Buttercup is a wild plant. Cup-shaped, yellow cup-shaped flower it bears. That's why it is called a buttercup. They are wild plant. There you can see yellow cup-shaped flower. I will give the meaning for it. Okay. So, yellow cup-shaped flower. Here you can see cup-shaped flower. So, if you walk through the meadows, you can find a butterfly sitting comfortably on the soft petals of the buttercup. It's a wild plant which bears yellow cup-shaped flower. Sitting on the buttercup, what does it do? Yeah. And unfold, closed and weapon. Unfold means weapon. It's drinking straws. Here, drinking straws. What do you mean by drinking straws? Let me explain. These are very thin and small parts of the butterfly's mouth. They are very thin and small parts of the butterfly's mouth, which is used like a straw. This is used by the butterfly as a straw to draw the nectar from the flower. See, let me show you the picture, then you can understand it easily. Yeah, see the meadows. This is a picture of a meadow. Here you can see green, soft grasses and some plants. There you can see some meadow houses. There you can see some animals. And they have many surprises for us. They have many surprises for us. Can you see, children? This is a picture of a meadow. There you can see green grasses and you can see some plants and you can see flora and fauna. You can see everything and they have many surprises for us. They have many surprises. Okay, see the butterfly. So if you walk through the meadow, you can see the butterfly. These butterflies are gently rest upon the buttercup. See these butterflies, how happy they are when they are sucking nectar from the flowers. Really, they are very happy to suck honey, nectar from the flowers. How do they do these things? How do they suck nectar from the flower? Let me explain. See, that's called a drinking straws. Here, drinking straws refers to, these are very thin and small parts of butterfly's mouth, which is used like a straw. If you want to sip, if you want to draw, if you want to sip the cool drinks, you can use the straw to sip it. You can use the straw to suck or sip. In the same way, it uses the drinking straws to suck the nectar from the flower. Drinking straws to sip the nectar up. So, what does the poet want to say in the second stanza? If you walk through the meadows, you may see, possibilities are there. You can come across many butterflies. These insects, butterflies, are sitting comfortably on the soft petals of the buttercup, a yellow cup-shaped flower. Sitting on the soft petals of the buttercup, they unfold its drinking straws. Okay, the device, very thin and soft from the mouth, used like a straw. So with the help of that drinking straw, it sips the nectar from the flowers. So this is the meaning of the second stanza. Let me give you the meaning for the hard words in the second stanza. Buttercup is a wild plant which bears yellow cup-shaped flower, and then unfold means wrap on it. Drinking straws is a device. They are very thin and small parts of the butterfly's mouth, which is used like a straw to suck the honey from the flower, nectar, honey. Okay, right. I hope you understand the second stanza of this poem well. Now, let me write the third stanza of this poem on the board. Third stanza. Let me write the third stanza. You may scare a rabbit. Third stanza. You may scare. You may scare a rabbit. You may scare a rabbit who is sitting very still. Who is sitting very still. Who is sitting very still, and though at first you may not see him, you may not see him. Then what happens? When he hops, you will. When he hops, you will. Okay, what does the poet wants to say in the third stanza? If you just walk through the meadows, you come across butterflies. How do they suck nectar from the flowers? And then if you continue, if you walk up into the meadow, you can come across small animals. See here, you may scare a rabbit. See, walking on the soft grass, you cannot, or one may not immediately able to see the rabbit. If you walk along the soft grasses of the meadows, if you are looking here and there, can you find any animals? Yeah, you cannot just see. You may not see. Immediately, you may not able to see the rabbit because they are hiding somewhere. Yeah, they are hiding there. See, you may scare a rabbit hiding there, who is sitting very still. Here, very still in the sense, They are hiding somewhere. They are afraid of coming out. They are hiding themselves behind the grasses, green grasses. And your footsteps may scare them. When you walk like this, your footsteps may scare a rabbit. What happens? The rabbit might get frightened. The rabbit might get frightened by our footsteps and would hop out of the grass. Just jump, hop out of the grass. When it appears before you, you can see that indeed is a sight worth watching. See, though at first you may not see him, when he hops, you will. So when you walk, continuous walking on the soft grass of the meadows, one may not be able to see. One may not be able to see the rabbits. Children, I know that you like to watch the quick movement of the rabbits. You like to have rabbits. You want to have it. And you want to lift it. You want to keep it in your hands. You want to keep it on your lap. You want to play with the rabbits. They are such a beautiful small animals. But when you walk through the grasses, when you walk on the grasses through the meadows, you cannot see, you may not be able to see the rabbit because they hide themselves behind the thick bushes or the tall green grasses. Because they are hiding there. Your footsteps and get frightened. The rabbits get frightened, scared. Your footsteps may scare them. So when they get frightened by your footsteps, they would hop out of the grass. They would hop out of the grass. They just hop out of the grass and they appear. Now they appear before you. That indeed is a sight worth walking. When he hops, when they come before you, you will see. So in the third stanza, the poet says, everyone have a worth watching of beautiful rabbits. But when you walk through the meadows on the soft green grasses, you may not be able to see first the rabbits because they hide themselves behind the tall green grasses. They may get scared of your footsteps. But when they are get frightened by your footsteps, they will hop. They would hop out of the grass. When they hop out of the grass, now you will see the rabbit. So, seeing the rabbit, the poet says indeed, is a sight worth watching. Okay. Next, I will show you the picture, the children here. The picture of a rabbit, how nice it is to have a glance. See rabbit. See the eyes. See the hop, how they hop. The rabbits, see, get frightened by our footsteps and would hop out of the grass. That indeed is a sight worth watching. Now they appear. Now they come before you. You will have a glance of the rabbit. See the rabbit. It's a beautiful small animal. How gently they hop on the green grasses. But when they get frightened, they would hop out of the grass. Okay, fine. Then let me write the fourth stanza, the lines of the fourth stanza on the board, and let me explain. So fourth stanza. What does the poet say in the fourth stanza of this poem? A Tantalian whose fuzzy head, whose fuzzy head was golden days ago, days ago. Was golden days ago. Has turned. Has turned to any parachute. Turned to any parachutes. Turned to any parachutes that flutter when you blow. That flutter when you blow. Okay, children, let me read the lines of the fourth stanza. A dandelion whose fuzzy head was golden days ago has turned to any parachutes that flutter when you blow. What does the fourth stanza says, or what does the poet wants to say in the fourth stanza? Dandelion are bright yellow flowers. They are the flowers which you can find. The dandelion is a flower which you can find in the meadows, and there is a kind of a flower that is yellow in color. So if you walk through the meadows on the soft green grasses, you can come across many dandelion flowers. They are the wild flowers. They are yellow in color, or bright yellow flowers. These yellow flowers appeared golden several days ago. Appeared golden. These bright yellow colored flowers appeared golden several days ago. Now the buds have bloomed into a flower. Now the buds have bloomed into a flowers. And now the petals became so soft. So here, fuzzy, the first two, fur-like, fuzzy. Fur-like. See the meaning. Fuzzy means fuzzy head. When the buds bloom into flower, if you touch the top of the flower, you can feel it. See the fur-like. Actually, fuzzy in the sense means, see, fuzzy head. It refers to the heads of the bright yellow flowers, which have a beautiful texture. So busy head means heads of the bright yellow flowers which became golden a few days ago. Now the buds bloomed into a flower, so they have a beautiful texture. If you go nearby such flowers and if you touch the petals of such flowers, you can feel the softness, you can feel the beautiful texture, and you can feel the touching fur. And then it turned to any parachute in the sense means, if you like this, see, if you blow, if you blow like this, what happens? The soft fur-like petals starts to fly in the air. It looks like how a parachute flies. If you blow it flies in the air just like a parachute. See, has turned to any parachutes that flutter here. So the flutter means move in the air like birds. Flutter means move like this, move in the air like birds. So dandelions are bright yellow flowers that appeared golden several days ago, have bloomed and flutter as you go near and flow at them. Okay, now let me explain the total meaning of the fourth stanza. A dandelion, if you walk through the meadows on the soft green grasses, you can come across many dandelion flowers. They are yellow in color and they have golden color. They appeared golden a few days ago. Now the buds bloomed into flower, so its head became fur-like, that is bushy head. in the sense means, as I explained, let me explain. Busy head refers to the head of the bright yellow flowers which have a beautiful texture. So now it became so soft, the head of the flowers became so soft, and if you go and if you blow like this, then it turn to any parachute, means it starts to fly in the air just like any birds. So flutter here stands for, what does mean? Flutter means move in the air like birds. So you can come across many dandelion flowers. They are bright yellow colored flowers. They appeared golden a few days ago. What happened? The buds became bloomed into flowers. So they have the beautiful texture, the fur-like at the head, and it is so soft to touch. And if you go near by such flowers and if you blow at them, the soft texture, the fur-like busy head starts to fly in the air just like a parachute. So it move in the air like birds. That much softness the petals have. That's the thing, that they can fly in the air like birds and just like a parachute. Could you understand, children? Fourth stanza? Yeah, good. Then let me explain the meaning for the hard words. Busy head. Here, as I told you, the busy head stands for heads of the bright yellow flowers which have a beautiful texture. And then flutter refers to move in the air like birds. Parachute is a device which flies in the air. Okay, fine. Then let me write the lines of the fifth stanza. Okay, fifth stanza. What does the poet says in the fifth stanza of the poem? First, let me write the lines on the board. Explore the meadow houses. Explore the meadow houses. Explore the meadow houses. The burrows in the ground. See the burrows, B-U-R-R-O-W-S, the burrows in the ground. The burrows in the ground. Then a nest beneath. A nest beneath tall grasses. A nest tall grasses. Dance. Let's dance. Amazing mount. Amazing mount. Okay, let me read the lines of the fifth stanza of this poem. Look at, children, listen to me carefully. Explore the meadow houses, the burrows in the ground, a nest beneath tall grasses, the ants' amazing mount. So here you have to understand. See the phrase meadow houses. These are the burrows or holes made by the animals like a rabbit in the ground. They are called meadow houses. And it has another meaning also. Meadow houses are a reference to several houses. You can, if you go through the meadows, if you walk through the meadows, you can find several houses which inhabit the small insect, birds and animals that live in the meadows, such as burrows, nest and mounds. Okay, so meadow houses, it has its own reference. What does it refer to? Several houses. If you go through the meadows, you can find several houses which inhabit. These houses inhabit small insects, birds and small animals. You know that burrows is a dwelling place of rabbits, okay, and mounds are the dwelling places of the ants. how they make such houses beautifully, and during the winter time they can go in and they can take rest inside the houses they made. Okay, fine. Now let me explain the fifth stanza. If one explore, if we go and if we explore the meadows, what you can come across? You can come across various houses. If we explore the meadows, you can come across various houses. There are burrows in the ground. It's a dwelling place meant for smaller animals. These burrows are meant for smaller animals like rabbits. Okay, small animals. And some nest. You can find some nest where you can find beneath the tall grasses, and you can find the mound, ants amazing mound. See the amazing mound, it has its own reference. What does it mean? It refers to the mound created by the ants as their dwelling places. It takes a long time for the ants. They bring small pieces of the ants make their houses in the pile of soil. Actually, how these mounds are made by the ants. The ants make their houses in the pile of soil which they gather to make a small mound. The poet rightly calls them amazing. Really, it is very amazing the way they make such a beautiful mounds. Millions of ants, thousands of ants join together and they bring small particles of the sands and all other things needed for to build such a beautiful mound. They make such mounds on the surface of the soil. Then inside, if you look at the mounds inside, you can see many small rooms and cells. So each cell is allotted for different kinds of ants. So if you explore the meadow, you can see many meadow houses. Meadow houses refers to the houses. It has its own reference. Several houses you can find in the meadows which inhabits small insects, birds and animals. Each house is meant for different animal or different birds or different insects. So it has been constructed. These houses are made by such animals separately for their dwelling. Okay. And if you go and if you explore the meadows, you can find the burrows on the floor. They are the dwelling places on the ground. They are the dwelling places of the small animals like rabbits. Okay. And if you go still further deep into the meadows, you can see some nest which may be made by the insects like dragonfly, butterfly, wasp beneath the tall grasses. They make all such nests beneath the tall grasses. They are the dwelling places for such small insects. And then you can find amazing mound. These mounds are made by ants. Thousands and millions of ants join together. They bring small soft particles of the particles of the sand and other materials needed for to construct such mounds, and they houses in the pile of soil which they gather to make a small mound. The poet rightly calls them as amazing mound. All these things you can see if you explore the meadow. That's important. So let me explain some of the fifth stanza. You can explore if you explore the meadow, you can see the meadow houses. The houses made inhabits for animals, insects and birds, and different houses are made by different animals, insects, and they become dwelling places for them. How we construct houses for us, like that. And you can see the burrows. It is a dwelling place of the small animals like rabbit in the ground, and you can also find some small nest made by insects where they made all these nest beneath the tall grasses. It's a safe place for them. They can save the nectar, they can save the honey they can they bring from the flowers. And you can find amazing mound made or constructed by the ants. Okay children, very good. Next let me explain the last stanza of this poem. Sixth stanza. Let me write the lines. Oh, meadows, how meadows have surprises. Yeah, no doubt. Have surprises and many things to tell. And many things to tell. You may discover. You may discover these yourself. You may discover these yourself if you look. If you look and listen well. If you look and listen well. See, in the last stanza, the poet says, oh, he calls, meadows, you have many surprises. No doubt, meadows have many surprises. If you visit meadows, you can have it. You can enjoy all these surprises. Really, all these surprises make you to get surprised. And many things they have to tell. Many poets in their poems, they explain, be with the nature. And what are all the things which you can get from the nature? Natures have many things to tell you. Yeah. If you closely observe the nature, if you observe the plants, if you observe the flowers, if you observe the big mountains and the hills and the falls and the rivers, everyone speak to you in their own language. Only thing you should have made up your mind to hear such things, what they want to say, what they want to tell. They have good messages for the people of the world. Do we follow them? Yeah. Sometimes we just ignore them. That is the problem. You should not ignore such things. You have to be very close with the nature. You have to observe the nature. You can get many things. You can get good message from the nature. Every piece of nature has something to tell you. That is the poet wants to say. See, oh meadows, you have many surprises. Yeah, and many things they want to tell you. If you closely observe them, you can get all such messages. You may discover. No one can accompany you to explain these things. You yourself can discover. Because they want to speak to you. They want to tell you something. But you have to go to them. That is important. You should have keen eyes. You should have sharp ears. Then only you can see. Then only you can listen what they want to show you, what they can want to tell you. Yeah. So if you look and listen well. So the last stanza, what the poet wants to say, meadows have many surprises, really speaking. If you go to the meadows, if you look at them, you can have a lot. Many surprises you can come across us. You have to be with them. So dear children, let me show you the pictures of meadows. See, the picture of a beautiful meadows full of green grasses. They have many surprises. They have many plants, animals, insects, birds. Everyone has some message for you. If you go, if you discover, if you go and if you discover, you can get, if you explore such meadows, you can get all such good messages. See the butterflies, how nicely they are sitting and sucking the nectar from the flowers. Worth seeing, worth watching. And then see the brook. of the meadows. See the small rivers of the meadows. When they produces, the running water produces such a beautiful sounds, musics and rhythms to hear. It's very nice. It's a good experience. It's a nice experience. It's a pleasant experience to hear the natural sounds produced by such running water. Isn't it, children? Of course. Of course. See the different kinds of animals living in the meadows. And there you can see meadow houses also. Many small insects are living there, small animals are living there, big animals are living there, and birds are also living there. The one thing, they are living together. But what about human beings? Do we live together? Often we create some problems. We never like our friends. We want to create the problems. We want to find fault with everyone else. We come across us in our day-to-day life. But see, all these animals are living together, forgetting all their differences. So forgetting all our differences, we should live together. Then only we can have all these surprises. See the running water, the brook, and then the animals living in the meadows. See the happy rabbit. It amuses us, it amuses everyone by its frisk activity. Yeah. So throughout this poem, what does the poet wants to say? We should never fail to observe the nature. The message given by this poem is, so many things are there in the nature. If you go to the nature, you can get all these things. You have to be very close to the nature. You can gain all these things. You have to observe the sounds of the birds, the sounds of the brook, the beautiful movement of the insects, birds, and the flowers, everything. So, after learning all these things, I hope all of you have made up your mind to get the messages which nature wants to give you. Okay, children? And see, you have your text. I hope all of you have your text with you, and just to go through the lines of each and every stanza, and I have given the meaning for all such hard words. Make a note of it. Thank you, children. Thank you. If you have any doubts, call me later.